Welcome back to another tier list video. In this tier list, we are going to continue the characters of Star Wars and go over the Sith and the Dark Force users. So let's get into it. We'll start off with General Grievous. He's just good. Nothing too crazy about him, except he has like, what, 8 arms? 6 arms? That right there is his advantage. And he does duel with Count Dooku. Dooku trained him. Has no force capabilities. I really wish they would make another show with him in it. I think it would be fantastic. A show all about his origins would be phenomenal. General Krell. Now, I didn't put him in the Jedi because he's evil. And the Krell arc in Clone Wars shows that he's evil. And he's using his lightsaber and his force for bad. He dupes the clones, massacres a whole bunch of them, but they capture him, and I believe Dogma, was that the clone that killed him? I forget. One of the clones executed him, and he's dead now. But he was definitely bad. We're gonna put him at good. Just because he was so good at being evil and bad that I don't think he deserves the meh rating. So he's just good. Mother Talzin. I think Mother Talzin is legendary. I mean, she's in charge of the Witches of Dathomir. She is one of the only beings in the galaxy that Darth Sidious actually fears because she can do anything with her witchcraft. She can manipulate all kinds of crap, but she can't make beings out of the Force or her magic. Note that. Jot that down in your notebook. Aside from that, she is a very powerful witch, and her magic is unmatched within the galaxy. I'm back and forth with character and abilities here with my ratings here. But I think Mother Talzin is still a legendary character. She deserves to be legendary. Asajj Ventress. I'm going to put great. She gets her butt whooped countless times in the Clone Wars. And for that fact alone, she's not amazing. I don't think she's legendary, and she's definitely not supreme. I did like that she came in Bad Batch. And she's like a cat with 9 lives because apparently she died in Dark Disciple, which takes place before Bad Batch. So I'm confused how she's alive, but I don't care. I can dig her. She's not one of the important characters where I care whether she's dead or alive or not, just like Kiadamundi, but it's the writing. If the writing is good and it makes sense and it changes things up a bit, it doesn't matter. And for that, Asajj Ventress is at great. Savage Opress. He's good. He is a tank, and by sheer brute force is he able to destroy some of the Jedi and take on, I mean, even Sidious for a little bit. He scraps with him. Sidious deals with him very quickly, but he's a beefcake, and he's Darth Maul's brother, and he's not anything like too special, but I mean he's got some power with him, and some raw power that the witches give him, so he's good. I don't remember her name. She is one of the Inquisitors. She's her apprentice. I'm going to put her at meh. She's just, all right. You don't know too much about her other than her master used the dark side in front of her during Order 66. So she kind of has a bad experience from that. She survived Order 66, then became an Inquisitor. She's really annoying in the game and hard to fight. Apart from that, she's still pretty cool. But she's not good. She's mad. Here we go. You ready for this one? Reva. Terrible. Reva is a terribly written character. I feel really bad for the actress because she had no preparation for this to get all of the hate there is for Reva, because Reva sucks. It's a very irrelevant character that we spent way too much time on in Kenobi, and they just forced her in everyone's face and down everyone's throat for no freaking reason at all, but just for the sheer fact that Disney wanted to have their own patent character that they created. Disney Star Wars wanted a character they can push forward, and they decided to do that in Kenobi? No. The Kenobi show is about Obi-Wan Kenobi, not Reva, not even Leia. It's about Kenobi. But we decided we were going to put Reva in there. Some of the stupid, cheesy lines. She gets killed twice and survives because, you know, that's the thing. Qui-Gon Jinn gets stuck once. He's out. Reva? No. They're going to keep bringing her back. Absolute garbage. And then she finds out that Luke exists and that he's the son of Anakin. And that she even knows who Anakin is. That he's Darth Vader. Stupid. She knows way too much, and it's appalling. Darth Revan. Legendary. Now, he goes back and forth between the Jedi and the dark side. But from what I've read and what I haven't read a lot, but I know enough to give him a rating, and he's freaking legendary. Ugh, he's so good. Baylan Skoll. I don't really think he's that evil, but he's definitely murdering people in Ahsoka. But I think he's amazing. We only get to see him for one season, but he's still amazing. I would have loved to have seen more with him. Whole show with him, and there you go. That is a well-written character that's new to Star Wars in a show that's not based on him. You don't see a lot about him, though. He's not forced into your face, but he's a very well-written character that you want to see more about. It's all about the writing. Reva did not have good writing. Baylan Skoll did. If we had better writing for her, maybe it would be different, but we had good writing for him, and he is an amazing character. Shin Hati. She's just good. Nothing too crazy about her. Again, she's just Baylan Skoll's apprentice. He became a Force user and his apprentice after Order 66, so she dodged that whole bullet. And she's just kind of following on with Baylan, but then she also wants more than he does. He wants balance in his life and wants to explore more of the Force than she does. She just wants to go off and do missions, and she's just very young, right? The Grand Inquisitor is amazing. Jason Isaacs, good old Lucius Malfoy. Grand Inquisitor is an awesome character that's introduced in Rebels Season 1. Now, he dies at the end of that first season, but throughout, he's that good, sinister, Dark Force user. He's basically a Sith. I mean, he's the Grand Inquisitor. That's as close as you're going to get to being a Sith without being one. And his character is just so entertaining. Like, ooh, man, this guy's evil, but I love him. It's not much fun to watch. You even get to see him when Kanan's having a vision in the Jedi Temple, and he knights Kanan Jarrus as Jedi Knight, which is fun to see. But as a Sith, as an Inquisitor, so cool. So cool. Ben Solo. Kylo Ren. I think he's great. I think he's the best part of the sequels. He's the only character in the sequels that I actually enjoy. He is so good. Now, they could have still written him a lot better. And I think that if there was just a little more tweaking and a little more character oomph, he could have been legendary. But they still failed everybody in the sequels. And for that, he's only a great. But still, he is the grandson, Darth Vader. And he goes back to the light side. But honestly, I would have loved to have seen him go even darker than Vader. Like, if they wrote it correctly, they could have made him way more dark, way more psychotic, and just, woo! They had a lot of potential with Kylo Ren, and they could have done it a lot better. But as usual, Disney drops the ball on everything, so that's how it goes. We'll continue. We'll skip Maul right now, and we'll go to Snoke. Snoke is actually terrible. He is just the deformed clone of Sidious, what we found out. And he has no real substance. He is just like the creep in the shadows in Force Awakens. And then in The Last Jedi, you finally see him. You're like, wow, this new Sith we've been introduced to, who is he? And he gets chopped in half by Kylo Ren. And that's it. That's all she wrote on that one. And you find out in Rise of Skywalker that it's just some kind of deformed, creepy-looking clone of Darth Sidious. Shame. So much potential, again, but ruined and terrible. There's a theme going here. You notice that the sequel characters are terrible. Then we come to Darth Maul. Darth Maul is a supreme Star Wars character. He is the first apprentice of Darth Sidious. What is thy bidding, my master? Oh, boy. Gets chopped in half by Kenobi, though. Sucks. Then Savage Opress goes and finds him on this desolate junk planet. He comes back. Father Talzin gives him some legs. He becomes the ruler of Mandalore. He gets stripped of that title, and then he scraps with Ahsoka, which is one of the best fight scenes in Star Wars. Then he's in Rebels again, and he's also in Han Solo. He's in the Solo movie for like 2 seconds. Made me poop myself because I was so excited. And they went nowhere with it. But then he's in Rebels, and his character in Rebels is awesome, especially in that end of the second season finale, where he's walking around with Ezra and he goes, "Call me old master." Oh, wow. Man, I love him. Love Darth Maul. Personally, for me, he's just, the development on him was fantastic. And they weren't going to bring him back at all. But I mean, George Lucas's plan was that Maul was going to be in the sequels. He was going to be the main villain in the sequels. He was going to be running the underground crime syndicates. And then he was going to have an apprentice, Darth Talon, and she was going to be the main Sith in the sequels, I believe. If they would have done that, it would have been amazing. The decision to bring him back in Clone Wars was fantastic. Fantastic. Chancellor Palpatine. Chancellor Palpatine is legendary. Legend, wait for it, dairy. His acting, Chancellor Palpatine's acting is insane. Now, Ian McDermott's acting is also incredible. To do it in the OG and the prequels, but I mean, just hiding behind the scenes, creating the clone army, turning Anakin to the dark side, he's just moving everything along. And then Darth Sidious is supreme. Just, I mean, he orchestrated the whole Order 66 business and gave the Republic and the Jedi the business. And then Darth Sidious is just reigning over the Empire. And you see him do things in Rebels as well, where he's working some magic to manipulate the world between worlds, and he's just kicking it back in retirement because Darth Vader's doing all the hard work in the Empire. But he is the supreme chancellor, but he's also supreme Sith. I mean, he's the most powerful Sith at that point in time until Darth Vader comes along. Count Dooku is amazing. I don't think he's legendary. That's not a bad thing. Count Dooku's character development really hit hard in Tales of the Jedi, when you get to see him realize what's wrong with the Jedi and how they're failing. And then you see him kind of contemplate, am I in the right place? I'm trying to bring peace and justice to the galaxy. And he really truly was. But in doing so, he went a little too far and joined in with Palpatine and became a Sith. Killed his friend Yaddle, Shane. And then he's kind of, he had the right intention, but he went about it the wrong way. Because you could see in that first episode, Tales of the Jedi, where he's trying to be bringing justice and save this village, but he's too dark about it and too hasty. And you see him become that Sith. And Anakin chops his head off. But before that, he was an amazing character. So, love Dooku. Now we come to Darth Vader. Oh boy. Darth Vader is supreme, and then some. Darth Vader is the most powerful Sith in all of the movies. He's the most powerful Jedi until Luke smacks him around a little bit, says, "Yo, Dad, wake up! I know you're in there, Anakin." But he is just so dark. And the comic books really bring him into a better picture. You know, him starting off as Darth Vader, finding his way, dealing with the hate of himself and how he basically initiated the death of Padme because of grief and the pain that she felt of him going to the dark side. And he's just so insane. He's one of the best characters in Star Wars by far. And without him, there is no Star Wars. I know I said that about Yoda, but honestly, without Vader, there is absolutely no Star Wars. He is the chosen one. Anakin's the chosen one, turns into Darth Vader, and then Darth Vader fulfills the prophecy by going back to being Anakin again and bringing balance to the Force. Oh man, I love Darth Vader. He's so freaking awesome. Darth Vader Supreme. And that is another tier list. That was the Dark Force and Sith of Star Wars. And that is this tier list for now. I'm going to continue more on these characters. You can see how this list is just getting chunky. It is beefy. And we still have all of these characters left. I'm going to chop these in as much as I can. But I'll catch you on the next episode. Come back for more, and we're going to hit the Republic characters next. See ya.